Hey everybody, good morning. Today we're just going to be doing our Nintendo 64 review and a couple games to go with it. Now Nintendo 64 is a great system, guys. It was built in the 90s and it's a 64-bit system, obviously. It's the third system to come out for Nintendo, excluding the Game Boy system. They had the Nintendo NES original was 8-bit. That came out in about 1985, I believe. And then that was followed up by the Game Boy. And then the Super Nintendo came out, which is the 16-bit system, and then obviously the Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 had a great number of games that were pretty decent. I'm a bigger fan of the Super Nintendo itself, but Nintendo 64 nevertheless had some classic products, guys. This is what the controller looks like. Has an analog stick right here in the middle. Has a trigger firing button on the bottom, as you can see right there. This port right here is actually used for the controller pack, and that goes here, which is like a memory card. They also have a rumble pack that you can get that makes the controller shake like a PlayStation 2 controller would do. And then this here is the memory expansion pack for the Nintendo 64. That goes right in here. You just keep that in there. So, power switch. It's got 4 ports for controllers. Now let's get to the games, guys. Out of a 0 to 10, I rate the Nintendo 64 about an 8. And that's how I feel about it, guys. It's a pretty decent product, like I said. With the controller pack, you just put that right in the controller here. And it goes in just like that. And now let's get to the games, guys. Turok, very decent game. I give it about a 7 out of 10. It's a classic. This is actually Turok 2, excuse me. Rayman 2, same. Decent game. Donkey Kong 64, we'll give that a 7.5 out of 10. That was very decent. NBA Hang Time is about a 4 out of 10. It's an alright game. If you're a sports fan, it's a must-have because it's like a couple dollars to get it. Perfect Dark is epic. Very decent. 8.5 out of 10, guys. This is the unofficial sequel to GoldenEye 007. Now, GoldenEye 007 definitely gets a 10 out of 10 in my book, as well as probably a lot of other people's. It's one of the first-person shooter games, if not the first. And coming out for Nintendo, that's pretty decent. Super Mario 64, another 10 out of 10. Epic game, guys. NBA Jam 99, I give a 3.5 out of 10. I was very disappointed with this. I was hoping it was going to be like the NBA Jam arcade game, and it's not anything like it, unfortunately. WWF Warzone gets a 5 out of 10. It was alright. King Griffey Jr. Baseball, 5 out of 10. WCW vs. NWO Revenge gets a 4 out of 10. Knockout Kings 2000, I gave a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty decent game, especially if you're a boxing fan. Duke Nukem 64 gets a 9 out of 10. Decent game. Wayne Gretzky's Hockey, 98, 5 out of 10. Glover gets a 7.5 out of 10. That's a decent game as well. Castlevania, 9 out of 10, even though this one's more of an RPG, and I'm not a big fan of it as compared to like Super Castlevania or the original Nintendo Castlevanias. It's not as good as either. South Park's pretty good. It gets a 7.5 out of 10. And Gex 64 gets a 7 out of 10. So that's my Nintendo 64 game collection that I have. I don't have a whole lot, but I do have a decent size. We'll be reviewing other game systems in the future and games, probably like the Xbox 360, Nintendo. We'll see what else we can come up with. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.